Diyan po nagtatapos ang pag-aalay ng bulaklak.
Lipunan, nadala. Kalis. Malikod yung. Cut. Harap sa labas. Harap!
Magsiupo muna po ang ating mga panauhin. Sa ilang saglit ay atin pong matutunghayan ang maikling palatuntunan kaugnay sa pagunita ng Pambansang Araw ng mga Bayani na may temang pagkilala sa bayaning Pilipino, matapang, magiting at makabayan.
Pasulong. Cut!
Ano siya tawag speaker siya sir eh.
Sa pagsisimula po ng ating maikling palatuntunan, mangyaring magsitayo ang lahat para sa panalangin na pamumunuan ni Coronel Raul Esinio, punong kapelyan sa Natahang Lakas ng Pilipinas.
Manalangin tayo. Panginoon naming Diyos at mapagmahal na Ama, ang aming mga puso ay puspos ng galak sa araw na ito na aming pinagdiriwang ang Pambansang Araw ng mga Bayani na may temang pagkilala sa bayaning Pilipino, matapang, magiting at makabayan. Kami po ay nagpupugay sa aming mga bayani at sa pamana nilang kalayaan. Salamat po sa aming mga bayani sa kanilang pagsasakripisyo at pagmamahal sa aming inang bayan. Panginoon, bilang isang bansa, marami po kaming pinagdaanan. Iba't ibang problema ang aming naranasan, ngunit naniniwala po kami na sa aming paglalakbay sa buhay, ikaw ay aming gabay. Maging inspirasyon nawa ang aming mga ninunot bayani upang kami mangarap at gumawa ng mga hakbang tungo sa mga reformang kinakailangan upang higit na mapagbuti ang kalagayan ng aming bayan. Turuan mo po kami, Panginoon, na kami ay maging responsable bilang mamamayan at magkaisa upang sama-sama naming harapin ang mga balakid at matamo namin ang kaunlaran at tunay na kapayapaan. Matutunan nawa ng bawat Pilipino ang mga aral at halimbawa ng aming mga bayani na nagbuhis ng buhay para sa kapwa at bayan. Hinihiling namin ito sa ngalan ni Jesus. Amen.
Marami pong salamat. Mangyaring magsiupo na ang lahat. Sa paggunita sa Pambansang Araw ng mga Bayani, atin pong pakinggan ang pambungad na pananalita ng punong lungsod Lino Cayetano, lungsod ng Taguig.
Speaker of the House of Representatives, Speaker Alan Peter Cayetano, Excellencies of the Diplomatic Corps, Defense Secretary Delphine Lorenzana, Secretary Anyo, other cabinet secretaries who are present, Secretary Esperon, Secretary Nograles, Historical Commission Chair Rene Escalante, General Benjamin Madrigal and the other service commanders, Police Director General Oscar Albayalde of the Philippine National Police, Special Assistant to the People Senator Bongo, Congresswoman Lani Cayetano of the 2nd District of Taguig, Vice Mayor Ricardo Ading Cruz and the City Council of the City of Taguig, officers and enlisted personnel of the PNP, officers and enlisted personnel of the Armed Forces of the Philippines, ang magigiting nating veterano, mga kasama ko sa gobyerno, mga kababayan, magandang umaga po. Ikinararangal po ng Taguig ang pagiging bahagi ng taunang pagdiriwang ng Pambansang Araw ng Bayaning Pilipino. Bukod sa paggunita at pagkilala sa ating mga yumaong bayani, isang magandang okasyon din ito para hugutan ng inspirasyon ng ating mga pang-araw-araw, pangkaraniwang Pilipinong nagsisilbi sa bayan. Mga nakikipaglaban sa gera kontra droga, terorismo, katiwalian, at kahirapan. Sa mga hindi pamilyar sa ating syudad, ang aming lugar po ay tahanan sa madaming magigiting na tagapagtanggol ng bayan. Ang Taguig po, dito sa amin ho matatagpuan ang kampo ng Philippine Army, ng Philippine Navy. Narito rin po ang tanggapan ng Coast Guard, NCRPO at SPD ng PNP, PIDEA at maging ang museo ng ating mga minamahal na veterano. Halos kalahati po ng parte ng dating kampo o lupain militar ang lungsod ng Taguig. Halos kalahati po. Bago ito naproklama. Kaya ho marami sa aking mga kapwa Taguigenyo, binubuo ng mga veterano, asawa, kapatid, anak, apo ng kapulisan at kasandaluhan, mga pamilyang nagsilbi sa bayan. Walang mga statwa ang ninuno nila. Hindi din naituturo sa eskwelahan ang kanilang mga pangalan, ngunit sila din ay ipinagdiriwang natin sa araw na ito. Sa ating kasaysayan, ilan lang sa ating mga bayani ang may mga pangalang kilala sa ating puso at isipan, madalas mabasa at tinuturo ng ating mga guro sa eskwelahan. Pangalan tulad ng Jose Rizal, Andres Bonifacio, Datu Lapu-Lapu, Tandang Sora o Melchora Aquino, Gabriela Silang, Apolinario Mabini, ang mga ninuno ko na si Juan at Antonio Luna. Ilang mga pangalan, ngunit kumakatawan sa katapangan ng isang buong lahing Pilipino. Kasaysayan ang humusga at nagtala sa kanilang tagumpay. Estudyante pa lang ako sa UP, tanong na sa amin, paano magiging buhay ang diwa ng ating bayaning himagsikan sa panahon ngayon? Paano nga ba? Para sa akin, kailangan patuloy na gunitain at pag-aralan ang kanilang kwento para maging inspirasyon ang kanilang sakripisyo. Kailangan ito dahil lahat ng panahon may dalang bagong hamon. Ang deklarasyon ng ating Pangulo, Rodrigo Roa Duterte, patungkol sa ating misyon na magkaroon ng safe and peaceful, prosperous country para sa lahat ng Pilipino ay isang malinaw na misyon. It is a very clear mission. Ito ang hamon ng ating henerasyon. This is the challenge of our generation. Isinusulat pa ang ating kwento. Hindi pa tapos ang gera at laban ng ating panahon. Patuloy pa tayong nakikipagbakbakan. Ngunit nasa ating mga kamay ngayon, tulad ng nasa kamay ni Lapu-Lapu, Rizal at Bonifacio noon, ang kapalaran ng ating bayan. Ito ang guguhit at uukit ng Pilipinas na kalalakihan ng mga batang kasama natin dito ngayon. Patuloy nating silang ipaglaban. Sa inspirasyon ng ating Pangulo, dasal ko ay maging matagumpay ang misyon natin. Sandata natin ang tapang, malasakit at pagmamahal. Ngunit wala nang mas makapangyarihan pa kung hindi sa pagmamahal. Paghugutan po natin, pagmamahal sa Diyos, pagmamahal sa bayan, pagmamahal sa kapwa. Ilang bagay na natutunan ko sa aking yumaong ama. Mga bagay na madalas kong marinig sa ating mahal na Pangulo. Naniniwala ako na magiging matagumpay din tayo sa hamon na hinaharap ng ating henerasyon. Kasaysayan na lang po ang huhusga sa atin. Muli, maraming salamat po at mabuhay ang lahing Pilipino. Magandang umaga po.
Marami pong salamat sa punong lungsod Lino Cayetano. Atin namang bigyang daan ng mensahe mula sa tagapangulo ng Pambansang Komisyong Pangkasaysayan ng Pilipinas, Dr. Rene R. Escalante.
House Speaker Alan Peter Cayetano, members of the Diplomatic Corps, Cabinet Secretaries, members of the House and the Senate, veterans and other men in uniform, fellow government workers, mga kababayan, magandang umaga po sa inyong lahat. If one looks at our calendar, one notices that we have 4 legal holidays dedicated to our national heroes. 2 holidays are for specific persons, namely Andres Bonifacio for November 30 and Jose Rizal for December 30. The other 2 are for nameless heroes. April 9 for the heroes of World War II, and today, August 26, is for all other heroes, regardless of the period where they belong. One of the mandates of the National Historical Commission of the Philippines is to commemorate milestone events and immortalize great Filipino heroes who contributed to our nation building. This year, the theme of our commemoration of the National Heroes Day is pagkilala sa bayaning Pilipino, matapang, magiting, at makabayan. On this very same occasion last year, I announced that in 2021, our country will be commemorating the 5th centenary of the victory of Lapu-Lapu and his men in the famous Battle of Mactan. Preparation for the commemoration of this historic event started early last year. During the first meeting of the committee, there was one issue that consumed much of our time and energy. We asked ourselves, will it be good for us Filipinos to spend taxpayers' money to commemorate the first circumnavigation of the world that ultimately resulted in the colonization of the Philippines? The question reminded us of what happened in Central America when the quincentennial of the first voyage of Columbus was commemorated in 1992. Certain groups criticized their government for glorifying the arrival of Columbus that for them resulted in centuries of slaughter, environmental destruction, and the obliteration of the American Indians' indigenous cultural heritage. Jack Weatherford, an anthropologist based in St. Paul, Minnesota, vehemently opposed the commemoration because for him, the journey of Columbus hastened the transoceanic slave trade, which he called an evil enterprise. The commemoration of the 500th anniversary of the journey of Columbus pushed through because people regarded it as a great achievement of man that was too big to ignore. Columbus' landing in the Caribbean expanded man's knowledge of geography and heralded European expansion in the other side of the Atlantic Ocean. This body of water that used to divide Europe and the American continent became the avenue that facilitated the movement of goods and people. It changed the course of history in one stroke, and the political, economic, and cultural condition of these 2 continents will eventually be altered significantly. To avoid a problem like the Columbus issue from occurring in our country, the Philippine Quincentennial Committee will stay away from Eurocentric commemorative activities. We will confine ourselves to activities that will not offend the sensitivities of the Filipino people. We identified 4 principles that would guide us in conceptualizing the commemorative activities and the personalities to be given recognition. First, the committee prescribed that the activities must be Filipino and Asian-centered. We will pay less attention on Ferdinand Magellan and Sebastian Elcano. Instead, we will focus on Lapu-Lapu, Raho Mabon, Enrique de Malacca, and other heroes who have not been given enough attention by European and Asian historians. The committee will use the quincentennial commemoration as a platform to raise the status of Lapu-Lapu from being a Chinese restaurant delicacy to its rightful standing as a national hero. Lapu-Lapu is a perfect example of Filipino hero who is matapang, magiting, at makabayan, as our theme for National Heroes Day suggests. As we promote the heroism of Lapu-Lapu, we will also identify events that highlight positive values. The first value that we will promote is unity. We will show that the success of Lapu-Lapu in the Battle of Mactan can be attributed to the unity and cooperation of the Filipinos at that time. Unity was also the same guiding principle that led to the successful circumnavigation of the world. The second theme that we will promote is magnanimity. We will emphasize that magnanimity and hospitality are characteristics that define the Filipino people. Residents of Samar, Leyte, and Cebu welcomed the newcomers when they anchored in their island. When they noticed that the members of the Magellan expedition were tired, sick, and hungry, they offered them food, drink, and shelter. The magnanimity of the Filipinos continued in the following centuries. We extended the same magnanimity to the Chinese who fled their country during the Opium War in the mid-19th century and during the Cultural Revolution in the 1960s. We did the same thing to the Jews in the 1940s, as shown in the recent movie, Quezon's Game. During the time of President Marcos, we also offered refugee centers in Palawan and Bataan to Vietnamese refugees. Our committee will also emphasize that Filipinos value sovereignty and independence. We will highlight that Filipinos are willing to risk their lives and resist any foreign power that would curtail our right to self-determination. According to Antonio Pigafetta, the official chronicler of the Magellan expedition, Lapu-Lapu and Magellan fought not because of wealth or religion, but because of Magellan's demand that Lapu-Lapu submit himself to the authority of Raho Mabon, Magellan's most favored chieftain. Lapu-Lapu rejected this demand of Magellan because for him, it was an intrusion into the domestic affairs. Finally, the last theme that we will promote is Filipino identity. We are planning to build a museum that will feature artifacts, artworks, and other cultural properties prevalent in our country before the colonial years. We will show the visitors of this museum that prior to the arrival of the Europeans, the Filipinos had already achieved a certain level of civilization that may be considered at par or even better than our neighbors. Let me go back to the question that I mentioned earlier. Is it worthwhile to commemorate the Filipino victory in the Battle of Mactan? Our answer is yes. We believe that popularizing our victory in the Battle of Mactan will boost the dignity and morale of the Filipino people as matapang, magiting, at makabayan. We have noticed that as a people, we Filipinos love winners. We saw this last year when Catriona Gray brought home the Miss Universe crown. We felt the same way last month when Manny Pacquiao defeated American boxer Kate Thurman. Once again, thank you and the National Historical Commission of the Philippines is looking forward for wavering support for activities that glorify our heroes who are matapang, magiting, and makabayan. Thank you.
Marami pong salamat sa Tagapangulo Dr. Rene Escalante. Sa puntong ito, ipakikilala ang ating panahing pandangal ni Kalihim Delphine N. Lorenzana, kagawaran ng Tanggulang Pambansa.
Mga kaibigan at kababayan, ang tagapagsalita ng Kongreso ng Pilipinas, Alan Peter Cayetano.
For I know the plans I have for you, plans to prosper you and not to harm you, plans to give you hope and a future. Regardless of our religion, our faith, gender, social status, ethnicity, whether we're from Luzon, Visayas, Mindanao, born of Filipino parents here or abroad, we all believe that there is a divine plan for the Philippines. Isang plano na puno ng pag-asa, isang planong pagpalain tayong lahat. Plans of hope and a future. But we also all know that choices has to be made for this plan to come true. Choices that our national heroes and the heroes that are not mentioned made. Choices that include giving their life for their community, for the Filipino people, and for the country. And that is why we set aside 4 days in a year and consider this day solemn, not only to honor these heroes by word, but also to remind ourselves that we also have that obligation to make a choice, to sacrifice, to have self-discipline, to have national discipline, a choice to serve our community and our people. It's also a reminder to the young people of today, our future leaders, that these sacrifices will mold their future, as the sacrifices of our forefathers and foremothers have molded us. Today, we fight the battles of poverty, crime, corruption, and narcotics or illegal drugs. It is not a simple task. It is a task that needs, wants, and demands commitment. So today, Your Excellencies, led by the Papal Nuncio, the men and women of the Armed Forces of the Philippines and the Philippine National Police, our dear cabinet members, the Senate represented by Senator Bongo, our mayors, our students na kasama natin po ngayon, today, we should recommit ourselves to that choice to sacrifice, to love our country, and to do everything that we may have a safe and comfortable life for all. We stand here today on this sacred ground to honor our brave heroes who have dedicated their lives to secure the liberties that we enjoy today. We honor the valiant men and women who have braved persecution and oppression and faced harm and even death, all in the name of justice, equality, and freedom. Today we pay tribute not just to those heroes whose statues adorn our edifices or whose portraits appear on our currency, whose exploits are immortalized in the annals of this nation's history. We dedicate this day especially to those unnamed heroes who have shed blood, sweat, tears in defense of the nation and the values it represents. We dedicate this day to the uniformed personnel, the AFP, PNP, DJMP, Bureau of Fire, for the law enforcers like the NBI, but even to our OFWs who have also made many sacrifices, to our athletes that are preparing for the Southeast Asian Games to represent our country, for the many sacrifices that they have made and are making. Today we also have one who's unnamed, but I'd like to name him. We have a veteran who is 104 years old. Kapiping, pwede ko po ba kayong tumayo at ma-recognize? No? Kaya pa hong tumayo? Yan po. Si Kapiping po is 104 years old, but he never misses a flag ceremony in the city of Taguig, and he always makes an effort to stand up to salute our flag. That is commitment. That is a choice that is made. Salamat po, Kapiping. Their ultimate sacrifice will never be in vain. We, in our daily lives, learn to embody their courage to small deeds of heroism, and that will touch the lives of our countrymen, especially the poor and the marginalized. As we commemorate National Heroes Day, President Duterte calls on our fellow Filipinos to emulate the patriotism of all those heroes who came before us by supporting the government's nation-building effort, especially our campaign against illegal drugs, criminality, corruption, terrorism, poverty, and environmental degradation. Let me take this solemn occasion to reaffirm this administration and President Duterte's firm commitment to create an environment where every Filipino, regardless of ethnicity, political affiliation, religious belief, educational attainment, or financial capability, can become a hero in his own right. Reaffirm this commitment for a safe and comfortable life for all, and reaffirm this commitment that the government will do everything that we may all live under the rule of law. It is our obligation to build on the legacy of those brave men and women who offered their lives building the foundations of a better Filipino nation. We owe it to our heroes to be worthy heirs to their legacy. President Duterte therefore asked our fellow Filipinos to set aside our differences so that together we may shape a more dynamic and prosperous society that will serve as a cradle of future generation for Filipino heroes. By making the right choice to do the right thing, making the right choices, our national heroes decided to give their lives. Many of them did not know that it will end in their death or they will actually give their life. But they just made small decisions every day to sacrifice and dedicate their life. And this is what we ask of the Filipino nation. Magandang umaga po sa inyong lahat.
Marami pong salamat sa ating House Speaker Alan Peter S. Cayetano. Dito po nagtatapos ang ating seremonya at palatuntunan kaugnay sa pagunita sa Pambansang Araw ng Mga Bayani. Sa inyo pong lahat, maraming salamat sa inyong pagdalo at pakikiisa sa okasyong ito ng Pambansang Araw ng Mga Bayani. Isang mapagpalang umaga ang sumaating lahat.